cursed doll. In a small, quaint town, Maggie Thompson and her younger brother David had just moved into an old Victorian house filled with the ghosts of the past. As they explored their new home, the siblings discovered a dusty attic filled with forgotten treasures and cobwebs. Among the relics, one item caught Maggie's eye. A porcelain doll dressed in a faded Victorian gown, with lifelike features and glassy eyes that seemed to follow her every move. "Maggie, that doll looks creepy," David exclaimed, peering over her shoulder. Ignoring her brother's warning, Maggie picked up the doll and cradled it in her arms. "I'm naming her Lydia," she declared, feeling an inexplicable bond with the figure. That night, Maggie placed Lydia on her bedside table, a sense of excitement bubbling within her. But as the clock struck midnight, an unsettling feeling washed over her. Whispers filled the air, soft and haunting, echoing in the darkness. "Maggie, help me!" The voice felt eerily familiar, but Maggie dismissed it as a figment of her imagination and fell back asleep. Meanwhile, David was not so easily convinced. Tossing and turning in his bed, he found himself trapped in a nightmare, haunted by shadows that danced on the walls. As days passed, strange occurrences began to unfold. Maggie became increasingly obsessed with Lydia, playing with her for hours and talking to her as if she were alive. Meanwhile, David experienced relentless night terrors, screaming out in fear as he glimpsed the doll's sinister presence lurking in the shadows. One afternoon, Maggie stumbled upon an old newspaper article while rummaging through the attic. The headline read, "Local Girl Disappears, Mystery of Lydia's Doll." The article told the tragic story of a girl named Lydia who vanished over a century ago, her doll left behind in a desperate plea for help. The chilling words sent shivers down Maggie's spine. "Maggie, you have to stop playing with that doll," David pleaded one night, his eyes wide with fear. "It's not just a doll, it's cursed." Maggie brushed off his warnings, convinced her brother was being dramatic. Their mother, Sarah, overheard their argument and sighed. "It's just a doll, kids. There's nothing to worry about." But the events only grew stranger. One night, David woke up to find Lydia sitting on his bedside table, her glassy eyes glowing in the dark. Terrified, he rushed to Maggie's room, shaking her awake. "Maggie, the doll is moving," he cried, his voice shaking. "Stop it, David. You're just imagining things," she replied. But deep down, doubt began to creep in. As the days went by, the atmosphere in the house shifted. Objects started disappearing, doors creaked open on their own, and David found disturbing drawings scattered around, all depicting Lydia in horrifying scenarios. The siblings shared their fears with their mother, but Sarah remained skeptical. "Maggie, David, you're both just getting used to the new house," she said, trying to reassure them. "It's an old place, and old houses make strange noises." But the children knew better. One evening, while their mother was at work, they decided to confront Lydia. "If you're real, show us," Maggie shouted at the doll. As if in response, the lights flickered and a cold breeze swept through the room. Suddenly, the doll's eyes glinted menacingly, and the whispers grew louder, enveloping them in an eerie chant. "Help me! Help me!" Panicking, the children fled the room, but the night was far from over. Strange happenings escalated, and the entire house seemed to be in chaos. Objects flew off shelves, and shadows darted past them in the dim light. When Sarah returned home, she found her children huddled together in the living room, wide-eyed and terrified. "What's going on?" she asked, her voice laced with concern. "Maggie, David, you have to believe us. It's the doll," David shouted, his voice cracking. "Enough of this. It's just a doll," Sarah replied. But just then, a loud crash came from the attic. Curiosity turned to dread as they climbed the stairs to investigate. The scene was shocking. Lydia sat at the center of the room, surrounded by shattered glass and broken furniture. A chilling silence filled the air. Suddenly, a ghostly figure emerged, the spirit of Lydia, eyes filled with sorrow. "Help me," she whispered, her voice echoing off the walls. Sarah gasped, backing away. "What is happening? This can't be real." The children exchanged terrified glances as they realized they were not alone. The truth was finally coming to light. The doll was a vessel for a trapped soul, bound by a curse that demanded attention. Maggie, we need to help her, David urged, feeling the weight of the moment. With trembling hands, Maggie stepped forward. Lydia, we know you're in pain. We want to help you find peace. The room grew colder as the spirit drew closer, and the whispers intensified, revealing Lydia's tragic fate. Abandoned and lost, her spirit imprisoned within the doll. I can't let you leave until you understand my pain, the spirit lamented. In a moment of courage, Maggie spoke. We remember you, Lydia. We'll tell your story, so no one forgets. As those words left her mouth, the air shimmered with energy, and Lydia's spirit began to fade. Thank you. Finally, she whispered, her sorrow lifting. With one last gust of wind, the doll shattered into a million pieces, and the oppressive darkness that had hung over the house lifted. The atmosphere transformed from fear to relief. Sarah, shaken but finally believing her children, embraced them tightly. I'm so sorry I didn't listen to you, she murmured. In the days that followed, the Thompson family learned to cherish the memories of Lydia, sharing her story with the town. They transformed the attic into a small museum, honoring the girl who had once been trapped in a doll, ensuring she would never be forgotten again. Thank you for joining me in the shadows. If you enjoyed the journey, please subscribe and share a creepy Vault 45 with friends, because some chills are best when we're not alone.